Shall we begin?
Yes, Purnima, go ahead.
Okay.
A very good evening, everyone. Hope you all are doing well. I, Purnima Sethia, on behalf of Youth Empowerment Foundation, welcome you all. Before moving forward, let me give you a quick set of instructions. To avoid any kind of disturbance, do not share your screen. Please let us know through chat box if you can't hear or if the screen is not visible. We will be having question and answer session at the end of the webinar.
क्लास में सेशन है
Please mute yourself.
भी आते हैं
Now let me start with introduction of Youth Empowerment Foundation. Youth Empowerment Foundation is one such non-government organization with a mission to enhance the condition of underprivileged class.
कहाँ लेके चल जाते हैं वो गुस्सा आता है वो कुछ दिखता ही नहीं
Please everyone mute yourself.
है
Through their initiatives. It was founded in 2015 and got registered under Societies Act in 2017 with an objective to empower youth and educating and providing skills to children in villages and slums. Youth Empowerment Foundation is mainly run by youths under the guidance of 18 plus core members. It is well said, sometimes making truce with the wind is not enough, but going against it is a necessity. The same was done by Mr. Ram Babu Sharma, founder of Youth Empowerment Foundation. From trying to help his family financially by being a child labor to working as an engineer in a German multinational company. He understood that ladder to success of the country is the growth of the country and most importantly its youth. So inspired by his own journey, he founded Youth Empowerment Foundation to not only empower youth but also to make sure that no child has to leave his studies to support his family. As everything is built on its pillars, YEF has its own pillars in the forms of missions, which are education and literacy. Youth Empowerment Foundation stood for the rights of the children by educating them on regular basis with the help of 500 plus volunteers. Health and hygiene. Youth Empowerment Foundation has taken initiative in healthcare activities by raising awareness. Skill training. Youth Empowerment Foundation understood the difference between an individual studying and developing. So it
Why this is important is because tomorrow you might actually get employed because you are a fan fiction person. There is research available that people who are fans of Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, Star Wars, Marvel, DC Comics, they started off as writers on fan-based community websites.
Please keep yourself mute. Betterment of society. Youth Empowerment Foundation not only educates children but also helps underprivileged and migrant workers. Some of the projects of Youth Empowerment Foundation. Project Hamari Pathshala. Through Hamari Pathshala, volunteers took the initiative to teach the students in their own different ways. Project Love in a Backpack. It is disheartening to see that many children have to take their family responsibilities even before they could enjoy their childhood. So to help them, YEF provided books and bags and all the necessary things. Project Milab. Youth Empowerment Foundation tried to mend the gap by asking people to help the needy by providing them groceries. Project Muskurahat. While sanitary napkins is a necessity but still is neglected, YEF started a drive to provide sanitary napkins to all the women who couldn't afford. So these were about some of the initiatives which were taken by Youth Empowerment Foundation. Apart from these, it also conducts webinars on regular basis. So today we are presenting a webinar on career consultation, which is to be conducted by students of presidency universities. Nowadays, the more fields are introduced, the more the students are confused about their career. More often, it is seen that students become most unsatisfied in their life because of the wrong field they choose due to peer pressure. As it is believed, everyone is blessed with something. Career consultation is one of the best ways to find a something which someone is blessed with. It helps in choosing the best career on the basis of their aptitude, hobbies, personality, passion, etc. It also shows the hobbies and the skills which an individual should adopt. From here on, I would like to request Mr. Hanan Farooq Khan and his team to carry forward the webinar. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Purnima. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Hanan Farooq Khan, and my team and I are going to present today a presentation on career consultation and the hobbies that one must follow and one must adapt to achieve our goals. Our team name is Abacus, and before we begin, I would like to extend my gratitude to the Youth Empowerment Foundation for giving us this opportunity to work with them and doing this presentation on this platform. Thank you so much. Now, to begin with the presentation, let's not directly go into the career consultation. Let's learn about something new. Okay. That something new is called ligometry. Now, it may not be known to a lot of people. LIGO means shadow or darkness, and metry means quantification. And in simple words, ligometry, it means quantifying things we know that we don't know. So basically, the things that we actually know and we can comprehend that we don't know about them, that is called ligometry. For examples, an open question. Picture a circle in your mind. Everything within the boundary of the circle is everything that we know. And everything outside of the boundary of the circle is everything that we don't know about. Ligometry is the edge of that circle. Exactly the things that we know that we don't know about. If you stand on that edge of the circle, when you look inside the circle, you know everything that you know. But when you look outside of that circle, you will get to know what you don't know. In all our years of studying, in hundreds of thousands of hours of lecture that we have had till now, I don't think there has ever been a moment where you go into a class at the start of a semester or at the start of a big session, where you go into a class and the teacher comes in with the new topic and they go like, this is everything that we know about the topic. We know this about the topic, we know this about the topic, we know this about the topic. But there has never been a teacher or a tutor or an educator who tells us that these are all the things that we know about the topic, but here are the things that we don't know about the topic. The thing we need to understand is perfect education is not there. Perfect knowledge is nowhere. So ligometry, it's a pathway to creativity. Our generation of people, we love solved problems. We don't like problems which are unsolved. We like to go and round about the problems that are already solved. We try to research more about the problems. We try to see how they solve the problem, but we never try to approach the problems that are unsolved. Why? Because we are mistaking the abundance of information for the sufficiency of knowledge. We have a lot of information, but that does not mean that you are knowledgeable enough. Take the example of Sir Isaac Newton. When the apple fell on his head, he discovered gravity. And as a reason, we all had to take physics in our respective schools, and we had to study so much about it. But there has been no educator, no school, no college, or no institution who has actually told us that gravity itself is a big open question. Nobody can prove where it came from. Nobody knows what it does. how it came into existence. Nobody knows about that. And the thing is, we claim to know more about than what we actually do. And we never acknowledge that this is what we don't know. The closest we ever know about gravity is when Einstein gave his theory, and it wasn't even in comparison to his other theory, that is the theory of relativity. So there's so many open questions in the entire world that we don't know anything about. And to process that, we need a lygometric approach. Now, why it plays a good and important role in career consultation is because lygometry is inbuilt in two things. One is humans when they are born, the children who are still under their educative phase, who are growing up, and machines, artificial intelligence. Now, children, why children? Because children's love to ask questions. They don't stop. No matter what you do, they'll keep on asking questions. So they have an innate ability to do lygometric approach. Because we need to start asking the right questions in order to get the solutions. Because the most important knowledge is actually the lack of knowledge. When we take in the idea that we know everything about everything and we actually don't know, if we do not acknowledge that we don't know stuff about anything, that is the only time we are going to learn something. That is the only time we will be able to achieve that knowledge. Now, let's talk about thinking creatively. Whenever we have a project, whenever we have to do something, some creative thinking, everybody turns up and they say, like, think outside the box. This is too normal. This is too normal. This will be under copyrights. This will be under this. Everybody asks you to think creatively. Think outside the box. But what is that box? What is that box? Nobody ever told us what is that box. Actually, the easiest way to think outside of the box is to not know where the box actually is. Let there not be any box. You don't need to learn something specific to do what you want to achieve in your life. And that is what lygometry is all about. And if you would like to know more about how we approach these open questions, or if you have an open question of yourself, there's an open source project online. It's called Reversopedia. Just like the encyclopedia, it gives you every bit of information about the world. There's a thing called Reversopedia, where you'll be able to ask the open questions about lygometry. So that's all about lygometry today. The next presentation, the next topic we're going to take is the choice of career, and it'll be taken up by Mr. Harihara. But before we start that, I have a small video for you.
Career decision-making process. Career decision-making is a process that will assist you understand the intersection of yourself and the world of work, and empowers you to successfully pursue your goals and career pathway. With new experiences and at different stages of your life, you will often find yourself initiating this process again. The important part is to continue to reflect on your direction, how it fits with who you are, to make informed decisions on the direction that's best for you. The career decision-making process is broken down into 4 stages. Self-evaluation is the first stage. In this stage, you reflect on the overlap of the 4 components: your skills, interests, personality style, and career values. This information will help you evaluate how possible careers fit with who you are. Neglecting one or more components may leave you with an incomplete picture of the fundamentals that contribute to career satisfaction. The second stage is to explore career options. Start by researching jobs that you're interested in. You might consider the duties, responsibilities, and the required skills of the job, including related courses. Then focus on current industry demand. The labour job market is constantly changing. Keep up to date with this information to know what your field needs right now and in the future. The third stage involves decision making and planning. For each job you have identified, weigh up the pros and the cons against who you are and what you want. For each job, decide what fits with you. Use the SMART system to help you plan the next steps. The final stage is taking action on the SMART goals you have developed. S. Specific. M. Measurable. A. Attainable. R. Relevant. T. Timely. Once you have taken action, you may return to stage 1 to further refine your options.
Mr. Hariharan will be continuing with the presentation.
Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you guys can hear me. So, choice of career. The most important thing that plays is what you choose and how you're going to choose. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to split this topic into several different questions. I'm going to let you guys know what you have to do at which part and so on. So coming to the question, what is career? So basically all of us know this world completely runs on cash and you can't do anything without money. And the way to get money is a career. But what if you're not enjoying what you do? Will that money that you earn be worth it or not? So when it comes to what is a career, career is just a way of making a living. It requires certain level of training and learning, which can be done by yourself or through any institutions. So the main purpose of career is to meet societal needs. As I said, it is just money that runs in this world, and everything that you need to do requires cash, even to buy your clothes, even to afford education, and so on. So career gives you a goal in life. It helps you stay focused and on what we want to do for a living. And speaking about goals, it is not necessary that a goal should be a specific job like a doctor or so on. It can be like an interest in a particular field. You can have interest in the field of medicines, you can have interest in the field of computers, and there are so many other things, photography and so on. So basically a goal is something that helps to guide you in the way you want to go, rather than just going into a job which is already there, or just for the sake of getting a job. It's not necessary that you have to just take a job which is being offered. You can also be a job creator than being a job seeker. Okay, so next I would like to tell about career choices. So career is basically like a vehicle that carries you to a purpose. Everyone has a purpose in life, and choosing the best career is a way to go ahead in your future. So when making a career choice, we have to keep three things in mind. We have to not choose a career based on our financial consideration. Just choosing a career because it gives you a lot of cash won't make you happy in life. You need to make sure that you do something that you really enjoy and not what other people suggest you to do. And we should not choose a career based on pressure from our parents or any other people, because they don't know what might be good for us or what might help us to be better people. And don't choose a career just for the sake of choosing a career. You need to make sure that you like what you're going to do. So making the right career choice, you have to first understand yourself. Without knowing what you like, without knowing your interests, without knowing your goals, there's no way that you can be able to choose the perfect career. So first, what you have to do is self-discovery. That helps you realize what you're good at, what your interests are, what can be your career, what you can do in your future, and the things that are going to make you happy, rather than just sit in a corporate company and then just work. So while analyzing yourself, the main thing you have to do is take your opinion from other people in that particular field. So when you're taking an opinion from a person who's already doing something that you're interested in, then you'll get a more clear picture as to what that topic is in depth, so that you'll know what is right for you and whether you can find your strengths, you can find your weaknesses by taking opinion of other people. And finally, you will be able to figure out what your talent is. So discovering your interests, based once you find your interests, it's not, the job is not done. You need to make sure that you go deep within that subject. You know exactly what is there and what are the pros and cons. And these things might disappoint you or might make you happy, but you should make sure that you have the ability to process them and make yourselves better and not feel bad that you might have done something wrong. Or you should not get scared that you have taken a decision which might affect you in your future. When taking a decision, you should make sure that you are ready for it and you should not be scared. And we have to try every option that we have. We should explore all the interests that we have and and take a decision with which we are happy. And taking advice from someone, and you always have to take advice from someone who is supportive, so that they will be able to encourage you to do what you want to do. And it's not always necessary that someone knows your interest until you tell them what you want to do in person. So the most important thing I want to tell is, listen to the advice made by people, but when it comes to making your decision, it is you who have to take the decision ultimately. No one can truly know what is going to work for you, and you have to carry your own research and make your own informed decisions. So what to do after making your choice, what to do after making your decision? This is the stage one. This is the start of a new life for you. So this is where all the hard work needs to be put for you to make your dream come true. It's not always necessary to be a job seeker. We can always be a job creator. So that's all for me. Thank you.
Street play by kids. Street play by kids of youth street. It's of Europe. Street play by kids of
Please mute
by
yourself.
So I'd like Hanan to continue from here.
Okay, the next topic in our presentation today is going to be peer pressure. This is a really important topic, and I would like to ask Mr. Govinda to please continue with the presentation.
Am I audible, Hinan?
Yes, you are. Please, Govinda, continue.
So, good evening, everyone. I am Gurinder Singh. So, today I will be talking about peer pressure. So, what is peer pressure? Peer pressure is something you do under pressure instead of your interest. So, actually, this peer pressure is created by either your parents or your friends or your society. So firstly, I would like to tell something about parents. And today we live in a country where the student takes what his parents are interested in instead of what he is interested in. For an example, a student who is interested in commerce, he knows he can do well in accounts and he will go along in accounts. But instead of that, due to his parents' pressure, he takes science. Will he be able to do that much what he will do in accounts? Never. He will never be able to do that. So, and the second option is society. Do you really need society to think about you? Never. Because they will remember you for a day, for some months, or maybe 1 or 2 years. But after that, they will definitely forget you. So due to them, if you are not going with your interest, you're going with them, what you're under pressure of your society and you take that, will be a bad option. You just think once, if you're going with your interest, you may achieve what you have done under the pressure of the society, right? You can go more with your interest. So my opinion is you should never listen to your society. And the third is your friends. Actually, I would like to include that you're never being peer pressured by your friends. You come under peer pressure by seeing them. Because just for an example, your friend has taken science and you are thinking that he has taken science, so he will have a better future than you. Is that necessary? You are having interest in accounts, you may go further than him taking accounts because you are having interest on it. So the main thing here is you should always go with your interest, not what other people pressure you to take. So at last, I would like to conclude that if you're having pressure from your society or your friends, just go and have a soft conversation with your parents that, yes, I am feeling that, what should I do? And if you're feeling pressured by your parents, then definitely have a conversation with them. Tell them that I am flexible or I am interested in this. Please let me do this. I will definitely do a great in that what I am interested in. So this will be elaborated by Hamza. So I would like to Hamza to present.
Thank you, Gurvinder. Moving ahead with the presentation.
Do you ever wonder about who you are? What makes you, you? What moves, excites, inspires you? These questions become important when you have to choose a life path. Pick a career that fuels your interests, ignites your imagination, channels your abilities. But how do you identify your abilities? The answers to these questions are unique to every individual because everyone is wired differently. While some brains are like this, others are like that. Since all brains are so fundamentally different, so is an individual's capacity to think, learn, and excel in different careers. It's the reason A.R. Rahman doesn't write novels, Tendulkar doesn't compose music, Vikram Seth doesn't play cricket. What they do is follow their natural inclinations, the natural talent. It's what we call intelligence. Understanding this fundamental diversity of human minds, Howard Earl Gardner, a psychologist and a cognition and education professor at Harvard University, developed the theory of multiple intelligences. The theory acknowledges several forms of intelligences and says people respond strongest to their dominant kind. He mapped out 8 kinds of intelligences: kinesthetic, musical, verbal linguistic, naturalist, logic mathematics, visual spatial, intrapersonal and interpersonal that relate specifically to physical activities, music, nature, advanced reasoning, abstract concepts, personal goals, words, and people skills, respectively.
Critical thinking is a term that gets...
I'd like to ask Hamza to please continue.
Hello, everyone. I hope I'm audible. So as my friend earlier had spoken about peer pressure, which leads to the topic of communication. The most important thing about communication is delivering your message right. Primarily when it comes to your education, the path you have chosen for your future, it all depends on yourself, not upon your society, not upon your friends, not upon your parents, because what you're going to choose is what's going to be beneficial for yourself, not for them. Yeah, a part of it would be beneficial, but you are the person who's going to go under it. So primarily, I would like to say that having communication with your parents is most important. For example, they might think they know what is best for you, but in your interest, you know what is best for you. So making points clear to them, talking ahead of them, and trying to make a conversation which will not lead into a debate kind of a conversation would be preferred, as explaining your point as to what you want to do than them telling you what you have to do is a very big crucial thing, which these days is not possible. As we all know that we spend most of our time with our friends on social media rather than on family, would you call it a family time? So most people lack that family time, which does not include talking or sitting around them having conversations, playing some sport or something. But when it comes to choosing a career, you cannot just let go of it as any other thing which happens. So most importantly, communication builds understanding and trust, and when you and your parents understand each other, you'll be able to work together to support whatever it is. So telling it out in a right form is very crucial. So now when you're talking to your parents, there are a few things which you're supposed to keep in mind. First is being open and being honest. So when you talk to them about what you want, it just does not mean that you want to do something out of your because your friends want to do it, or because you've seen it somewhere and you liked it. It's because you personally like it a lot and you want to pursue that field more than anything. So being open and talking about things that are important to you, both in a positive and in a negative kind of a manner, would be more valuable and honest. So the second thing which I would like to say is pay attention. Don't just talk. Try to even listen to what your parents have to tell to you, because obviously when you talk to someone, it is a two-way street, not a one-way street. So when you talk to them, you are even supposed to listen to the points they have. They might have something in particular which might be of interest for everyone, and it might be an upbringing, a good thing in the future. So they might have more, they obviously have more knowledge. So listening to them is also a very important factor, because effectively to the other person, if you are listening only, it is then when you are communicating. And when it comes to communicating with your parents, there might be instances where you have a lot of long silences. So it does not mean that the situation has become uncomfortable. It's not like that. You just have to relax, because both of you need time to think about what you're going to be doing. So sometimes silences communication in silences make a greater deal. And secondly, communicating with your friends. Communication with your friends is very crucial, because primarily the friends you have around you is most important than what you're going to communicate to them. So making good friends around you is very crucial these days. So you'll have the right kind of a thought process when you have the right kind of friends. So when you make a better circle, that time communication is become easier, because when you try to make a point, they try to understand instead of debating on something and wanking it off away just because it's not in their interests. So communication with your friends is very important, and I would say that it's good to have friends around who are there to support you and encourage you and in fact help you ahead. And third, I'd like to talk about communication with society. Now, when it comes to society, it is not a gender specific, or it's not a person specific. Your points should be such that it is open to all. It does not target a specific community, or it does not target a specific person. For example, you're going for an interview. It does not mean that you're not going to answer the interviewee as though it's them you're going to work for. It's obviously going to be a company. So putting your points such that you're going to be representing the company more than representing the person you're working for would make a greater deal than any other thing. So communication with society is nothing but then talking points which are going to be very effective in the future. So that's all. I would like Harsh to continue from here.
Thank you so much, Hamza. Now, for the last topic of the session, I'd like to ask Harsh to please continue. For that, we just have one last video for you.
Thrown around a lot. You've probably heard it used often throughout the years, whether it was in school, at work, or in everyday conversation. But when you stop to think about it, just what exactly is critical thinking? And how do you do it? Simply put, it's the act of deliberately analyzing information so that you can make better judgments and decisions. It involves using things like logic, reasoning, and creativity to draw conclusions and generally understand things better. This may sound like a pretty broad definition, and that's because critical thinking is a broad skill that can be applied to so many different situations. You can use it to prepare for a job interview, manage your time better, make decisions about purchasing things, and so much more. Now, as humans, we are constantly thinking. It's something we can't turn off. But not all of it is critical thinking. No one thinks critically 100% of the time. That would be pretty exhausting. Instead, it's an intentional process, something that we consciously use when we're presented with difficult problems or important decisions. In order to become a better critical thinker, it's important to ask questions when you're presented with a problem or a decision before jumping to any conclusions. You can start with simple ones like, what do I currently know? And how do I know this? These can help to give you a better idea of what you're working with and, in some cases, simplify more complex issues. Let's take a look at how we can use critical thinking to evaluate online information. Say a friend of yours posts a news article on social media and you're drawn to its headline. If you were to use your everyday automatic thinking, you might accept it as fact and move on. But if you were thinking critically, you would first analyze the available information and ask some questions. What's the source of this article? Is the headline potentially misleading? What are my friends' general beliefs, and do they inform why they might have shared this? After analyzing all of this information, you can draw a conclusion about whether you think the article is trustworthy. Critical thinking has a wide range of applications in the real world. It can help you to make better decisions, become more hireable, and generally help you to better understand the world around you.
Sahash, please continue with the presentation.
Okay. Good morning and good evening, everyone. So I'll be telling you about hobbies for life. So you'll be like, what's a hobby? Hobbies are something you do in your pastime. You do the things you like to do in your pastime. Something like cooking. Then there's dancing. There's singing. There's photography. There's cooking and etc. So. Some people will be like, why do I need hobbies for life? So hobbies are things which you like and will help make you happy, and also it helps lead a very good life as well, because it just shows how you are as a person, and also benefits you in thinking critically as well, and relaxes your mind as well also. So now there are various hobbies which will help you in a career as well, and build your personality, which so there are various hobbies which help out making careers in life, like there's graphic designing, photography, and there's travel blogging, or then various etc things which you can make a career of if you are really interested in. And there are hobbies which later on help you in your jobs as well, like if you're really good in solving puzzles or cubing, then it'll uh, uh, build qualities like problem solving. And then there are jobs for if you're good in graphic designing or good in drawings, then it will help you in creating new websites, good designs, and etc. So I feel that if you add hobbies to your life in your everyday life, it will help you out in various things in life. So it's better, and you should not restrict yourself by telling, I have college, I have work to do, or this that, because hobbies later on tend to help you out in some or the other way. And I would like, and that's from my side. Thank you.
Okay, I guess we are done with the presentation part. I would like to know whether any of you have any questions for us.
Do we have any questions?
You guys can unmute and speak up if we need.
Okay, so if you don't have any questions, I'd like to conclude today's meeting by saying that this particular webinar, it's not actually, the main motive of this was not just to introduce you to the field of the choices of careers. The main motive here is for you to understand that it's never too late to start anything. It's never too late to do what you want, what you feel like, because what at the end, nothing matters if your heart is not at peace. Whatever you want, you can do it. Age is just a number. The environment is just a factor. You can still achieve what you want. You can still take up that last shot and hit it at the right spot. So don't be afraid of anything in your life. Work on your goals, develop those hobbies, because once you develop your hobbies, once you work towards your goals, everything comes into place and you will be able to achieve everything you want. So that's it from Team Abacus today, guys. Thank you so much.
Oh, wow. What a wonderful session it was. I would like to thank the team for sharing their knowledge with us in such a beautiful manner. Well, I would also like to thank to the audience for joining the webinar. I hope you all received many things from this webinar which will be helpful to shape up your career objectives. We are sharing you the social media handles of Youth Empowerment Foundation, visiting which you can get more updates about our projects and initiatives. Also, if you want to be helping hand for the society and our initiatives, then visit our Milad campaign link and can donate any amount you think fit because each penny matters. And lastly, if you want to be a part of our workplace as an intern, then you can grab our internship opportunities in any of the domain by visiting the link given in the chat box. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much once again. And thank you so much, Youth Empowerment Foundation, for giving us this opportunity. Thank you so much. We'll be taking your leave.
Thank you so much for this wonderful session. And thank you so much, everyone, for joining and making it a success. Thank you so much for joining. And you are free to leave this meeting. Thank you.